This video will show you how to do the week 11 assignment on scales. I've already opened a new document in Noteflight. So to begin with, I'm going to come over to the Connect menu. I'm going to change so everyone with a link can view this score. Make sure that I hit save. So now it says everyone with a link can view the score. That way when you submit your assignment, I'm able to see it. I'm going to give the song a title that says something about scales in it, and then I'm going to put my name in the composer area. Okay, so we have two staves here when we only need one to write scales. So I'm going to come and click right over on the side of the screen. It's highlighted the entire bottom staff in orange, and then I'm just going to hit backspace on my keyboard and delete that bottom staff. You can leave that extra staff, it's just extra stuff on the screen that can maybe get in your way. Okay, so we need to write three different scales for this assignment. One of them is the D major scale, one of them is the G minor scale, and then one scale that you choose. So I'm going to start by writing the D major scale. So I know it's going to start on D, E, and I have to go up a whole step to get to F sharp. Okay, so how do I add an F sharp? I can do this a couple ways. I can come over to the pitch menu. If I click to select it, it will put it up at the top of the screen. When I have this note selected, I can click on sharp from the pitch menu, and that will give me the F sharp. I can also just press the plus key on my keyboard. Okay, then I keep going up the scale. And then I need a C sharp here, so I'll come and click on sharp, and then get all the way up to D. Now, part of this assignment was to not just use the same rhythm for going up and down the scale. So I'm going to try using some different rhythms coming down the scale. So I'm going to start with the D coming down, but you know what? I want to make that a different rhythm. So you think you would click on rhythm in the toolbar menu, but instead you want duration, or how long the note is. So with that D selected, I'm going to click on the eighth note. And click on another eighth note. Now remember, we need to make that a C sharp, so I still have the pitch toolbar up here, or I could come over here and find the sharp that way as well to make that C sharp. I'm going to make this a quarter note, and then let's make that a half note. Make another half note. Okay, so I need F sharp, so I can come over to pitch and click on sharp. And then let's come back over to duration for some quarter notes at the end. So there we go, I have the D major scale. So before you start on the next scale, you might want to start a new measure. To do that, you can just click above the measure and then click one of the plus signs if it doesn't automatically add a measure for you. Now I'm going to cheat and not do the entire assignment here. I'm not going to write the other two scales that you need to write, so make sure you remember to do that on your own. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and do the step 5, where you get to take a scale and you're going to write a song using the scale. So you write 4 measures. So I'm going to still use the D major scale. I need to start on a D and I need to end on a D. But what I do in between is up to me. I want to make sure if I use a note like C that was played a C sharp in the scale, that I make that a C sharp in the song that I write. I also want to use a variety of rhythms in what I write. Oh, need a C sharp there. You don't have to just use the notes of the scale, so I'm using like an E and an F sharp that go higher. Oh, and it didn't automatically add another measure, so I'm just going to click on that measure and then click on the plus sign and then keep writing. You know what? I wanted that to be an A, so I'm just going to use the down arrow on my keyboard. So I've now written 3 measures. Need an F sharp there. Need an F sharp again. And then my last note needs to be a D. So there I have 1, 2, 3, 4 measures written just using the notes of the D scale. I started on a D and I ended on the D. I used some different rhythms in between. You also need to add some dynamics here. So to do that, you're going to decide what note you want the dynamic change to be on. So I want the very first note I wrote, the D. I'm going to want this to be played loud. So I'm going to come over to Dynamics underneath the drop-down menu, click on Dynamics. I can load the toolbar up here. And you know what? I don't need the other two, the pitch and duration, so I can just uncheck those and then I have less up here to have to deal with if I want. I'm going to click on the expression text button. It just looks like a fancy letter F. I click on that, and then it gives me a prompt to type in something. So this is where now I either type like a P for piano, MP for mezzo piano, MF for mezzo forte, or I want this to be forte, so I'm going to type in F, and then I just click outside of there and the fancy F shows up. Now I need at least one other dynamic in here. So when we get to this A over here, I'd like that to be played piano. So I'm going to click on the note, click on the expression text button. It gives me the prompt to type, so I'm going to type in a P, then I click outside of there, and voila, I have piano. To go and submit this, I know I'm not done because I still have 2 more scales I should write, but I want to click save, and then all I have to do is come up here and copy the link, and I'm good to go. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know.